Who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
We're gonna move on. Next topic here. The next topic is going to be Yahya as Wonder Man. You know, last week we kind of touched on this. We talked about how he was going. It was rumored last week that he was going to be playing Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, and our thoughts on that. And you know, my thoughts have not changed on that, and my thoughts are still the same. It's you know, I've seen some people saying, well, what's wrong with that? You're still getting, and I've seen posts on Twitter of several pictures of the black representation that we currently have in the MCU, and I'm gonna loop it back around to this, but that we currently have in the MCU, like Sam Wilson and Nick Fury, and you know, you guys know who they are, the ones that are there, Rhodey, the ones that we barely see, the sidekicks, the whatevers, you know, those guys, Idris Elba, who's, you know, whatever. And we've seen those guys, and you know, they're putting up pictures of that, saying, "What do you mean no black representation? Why are you making this a thing about being upset about you guys want black representation? You're getting black representation." I think when black representation is discussed, I think it's confused. I think people are confusing what black representation actually is.
I think it's just anybody black. Like
Yes.
As long as we have a black face on the screen,
that's honestly
that's
it.
Black representation.
That's
right?
it. That's what they think. They think if you've got a group of black people in anything, or you've got that's black representation. But sadly, it's sad to say, I've seen some black people on Twitter saying this ignorant shit, and I'm like, wow, my brothers and sisters, I just don't get it. Because for me, black representation would be what Steve Rogers, if Steve Rogers was black, that's black representation. That's what that T'Challa. I mean, hell, why did I even use Steve? T'Challa. That's the black representation. That's what that would be. The sidekick, the Idris Elba's 15 minutes in the MCU, everything like that, that's not the representation. So what we mean when we're saying we don't want to see a Yahya as, it's not saying no, we don't want to see Yahya. I would love to see Yahya in the MCU.
Give him a better role.
He's an Emmy winning, give him a better role. Emmy winning actor. He played he plays Black Mantis over in the DCU. He plays also in the DCU. He plays Mr. Manhattan. Like, yeah, I want to see Yahya in the MCU, but I want to see Yahya portray a black character and flesh out a black story. Why are we just race swapping him? Because at the end of the day, that's still a white man's story. Simon Williams' story is still a white man's story. That's just a black man playing him. That's not what I want to see. I want to see the black man portraying the black man's story. That's what it means. And it's not hard to understand at all.
And then I've seen people saying like characters like Wonder Man, like him being white has no relevance. So, but it's like, if him being white has no relevance, like why the fuck would he be black representation?
Exactly.
It's like he has no relevance being white. I mean, I'm sure as hell you couldn't come up with a way to represent the black community like as Wonder Man. So it's just like, I just don't get that argument in itself. But I mean,
it's like Wonder Bread. That shit's white.
It's like, I mean, like I'm not too on it because I mean it's cool we get Wonder Man. I don't think it's a bad casting because he is a good actor, but I mean I'm still on the side of giving he deserves a better role in my opinion because
like Idris Elba.
Just because I feel like we're only getting Wonder Man because of Wanda, and so it's like I feel like I'd rather see Yahya Abdul in a more prominent role in something where he'd be more soloed or not like dependent on other people and stuff. Because I feel like Wonder Man's role in the MCU is just going to be dependent with Wanda.
With
and everything.
Wanda. I mean, and that's what they're already connecting Vision Quest with now. You know, with him being officially cast, they've been talking about, well, you know, there is that love triangle between the three of them, between Vision, Wonder Man, and Wanda. So. You know, obviously the MCU is going to play on that. I expect them to, especially with Wanda rumored to be showing up in the Wonder Man series along with Pietro. And you've got now Wanda, or you've got the, which we're going to talk about on Sunday, but you got Joe Locke that's rumored to be in the Agatha series. You've got Wanda rumored to be in the Agatha series. It's all coming together. You know what I'm saying? The stories, it's coming together with what they want. But my thing with Yahya is it's not that I don't want to see him in like a big name like Simon Williams. I mean, well, when I say big name, Wonder Man's not known to non-comic readers, so that's not, and don't pretend like it is, 'cause it's not.
Right.
So, it's not that I don't want to see. I want to see him. You know, like I said, there's just black superheroes that could just be fleshed out. I mean, this is one we say all the time: Blue Marvel, Brother Voodoo. I mean, I think he'd make a killer Brother Voodoo. I mean, not just Brother Voodoo. You've got.
And he could tie, if they want to tie people into Wanda. They could
tie Brother Voodoo into Wanda because they had a relationship.
Yeah.
So it's, if you really
that's a better character.
And exactly, that's a very good point. I forgot she had a relationship with Brother Voodoo. Yes, she was in a relationship with Brother Voodoo. So yes, because you can't say, well, that's not going with the story. When does the MCU go with the story?
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it goes with the story or not. You can twist it
dead in this
exactly. Thank you.
They don't go with the story.
Thank you. So you can twist however it is you want to twist it, but you could have made him a black superhero so that superhero story could be fleshed out, because he's just fleshing out
as a black character, not a white character that you just slap a black face.
Yes, and I saw somebody made a very good point on Twitter. Imagine Yahya Abdul-Mateen being your favorite Simon Williams, and this being your first time seeing Simon Williams, so you want to go pick up his comics, and you pick him up, and it's like, who the hell is this? And it's like, what? What am I? You know, it was so funny to me because I'm like, that is so true. It's like,
I mean, but what they want to do
it's not representation.
is they want Yahya to play Wonder Man so well so they can rewrite the new comics as a black Wonder Man. I bet that's what they are going to do, because they've done it with characters in the past and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't see it past Marvel to just go ahead and rewrite him as a black character if he does well and everything. Because if he does Wonder Man well, I mean, the way people received Wanda and everything, his main ties are going to be to Wanda, I'm assuming, and so it's like they're going to receive Wonder Man just the same way.
Right.
Especially if they're playing off the love triangle shit with Vision, Wonder Man, because that shit is interesting.
Right.
It's it's like the most interesting thing in Wonder Man's comics.
It is. Yeah. It is. And you know, and when we talk about these things, when we are sitting here talking about what we're talking about now, giving criticisms, giving our opinions, that in no way, shape, or form means am I not excited to see some of these things play out in the MCU.
Yeah.
I still will gripe about, him being Wonder Man, but even if he plays him good, and I have no doubt he will. I mean, look who's playing him. I have no doubt he will. Which is going to bring me into what I'm about to say about all this. But no, we're excited about this stuff. I still love the MCU.
No, we're excited. It's just odd because it's like, this is different than like when we were talking about Rogue. Because of the Southern thing with Rogue.
Right,
like what's like, half of the South black. So
right.
That still, you're not having to change anything, and it's still like, it makes sense. This just seems forced. This seems like we're asking for T'Challa, and they're like, here's a black person, shut up.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like.
Yep. And this is the funny... Excuse me. This is funny to me. So, I was watching. I think they talked about it yesterday. I think John's show talked about it yesterday on John Campia's show. So I was watching the clip that he did on Yahya, and so he goes on after he talks about it. He comes back on and he says, Kevin Feige and Marvel have done a really good job of casting black actors in the MCU, and I don't disagree that they've done a good job, because the black actors that they do have in the MCU are phenomenal. But so he goes on and he starts naming off, and hold on. So he names, obviously, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger. Okay, that's fine. Michael B. Jordan being Killmonger, that's okay, because why Killmonger? I mean, I'm not saying that I disagree with a race swap in certain situations, but in this situation with Wonder Man, it's just unnecessary. Like we were just saying,
unnecessary and forced.
Yeah, I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I'm saying, like, obviously, yes, Killmonger's black, so yes, Michael B. Jordan playing, that makes sense. There we go. Yes. Anthony Mackie playing Sam Wilson, obviously. Okay.
Right.
Jonathan Majors, we got him playing Kang. Yahya now is Wonder Man. I can never pronounce his name. The dude from Guardians of the Galaxy that says who?
Oh.
I can never pronounce his name from Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can't pronounce it, but we know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's a tough name.
Yeah, and we don't.
He's a really good actor.
He is a great actor. Can you name his character from Guardians of the Galaxy?
He was in the what if. He was in the what if.
Yeah,
Also.
none of us know. I don't even know his
Yeah.
fucking name. I can't name him because how much screen? Okay, we'll get to
Hey,
that.
we
We'll
got-
get to that.
We're doing to him what he did
We
to
got
Star-Lord,
Mordo.
actually in the movie where he didn't know who Star-Lord was.
Right,
He didn't know
right.
his name.
Yes. Well, right. We'll get to that. Then he said Denzel Washington. Now, who obviously, you know, we were all talking about, was rumored to be cast as Magneto, which I still don't like because, again, we've talked about that. Denzel could come in and be a Blue Marvel for sure. I think he could really fit that description for Blue Marvel if you wanted to go that route. Again, there's a plethora of other heroes he could have been, but we'll get to that too. Mahershala Ali is Blade. Okay. We need to see that.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it yet.
At that point,
Right.
it's been such a mess of everything that
Exactly.
we've been hearing.
And he's
out of
well.
that
He said
production.
he's well. Yeah,
Hoping
okay.
it's better on the right track, but
He
yeah,
said
I
Don
digress.
Cheadle as Rhodey, Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, Daniel Kaluuya as Wakabi, Brian Tyree Henry, Fastos. I can never pronounce his name either. Dude from 12 Years a Slave. The lead character, Mordo.
Oh, yeah.
Idris Elba as Heimdall. And then he ended saying... He ended all that after he named all... And that was him and his co-host and them. And I'm not trying... Whatever. His co-host and them, they were like... Oh, you know, they were just all giddy about all the names. And we're all... This is only the males in the MCU. We haven't even gotten to the female. And then at the end goes, I'm running out of names. I don't even know who else they could cast in the MCU. Okay. And this is, I think, the problem. I think that the white community, society as a whole, when you look at black actors, you look at them as the ones you know. Like, that's the black Hollywood to them. Is the like your Chris Rocks, your Will Smiths, your Kevin Harts, Angela Bassett, you know, those guys, those names, those Viola Davis, they know those faces.
Yeah.
There are plenty of names out there that you could go on to, but I'm running out of names. There are plenty of names you could pick up there, okay? So there's Michael Ealy, Blair Underwood, Lance Gross, Omar Epps, Sterling K. Brown, Aldous Hodges, Robert Richard, Derek Luke, Shamar Moore, Boris Kodjoe, Damson Idris, Will Smith, LeVar Burton, Laz Alonso, Jamal Howard, John David Washington, Yolande Noel, Trevant Rhodes. Bro, I could keep going and going and going and going because there's a lot of other black male actors that you could be getting into the MCU to play these black roles that are getting shelved. The ones, those stories aren't getting fleshed out. I don't care if a black man, I mean, I don't care. I do care if you have a black man playing a white man's role. Why? Because that's still the white man's story being fleshed out while the black role is getting set, again, shelved. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we mean.
We're not running out of names of black characters
that's
in the
it.
comics, is the thing.
I mean, and
There's
I
black
hate-
characters to take from. We're
I mean,
not
but it's
running
kind of
out
also like white people have also they always see the black person as the sidekick too. And so it's like they see him a lot because they focus on their main character
We'll
and
get to
who's
that, too.
always there to fight with their main character. It's the black sidekick. Like with Captain America, they got Falcon. Every time you're gonna get like critical cap scenes like that.
Doug and
Iron Man,
Skeeter.
you're getting Rhodey's. Doctor Strange, you're getting Mordo. It's
Right.
like I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's almost like Marvel made sure to put like a black sidekick with almost every prominent
it's token.
outside of Thor.
It's the token.
But
It's the
like
token
there's
character.
Heimdall with Thor, and Heimdall's pretty important in Thor.
Yeah.
So it's
So
like,
I mean, let's show it. I mean,
now
we
that I'm
can-
sitting
we
here
can show
breaking
it
that
right
shit
now.
down.
We can show it right now. Hold on. Here it is, right here. We've shown this before. So this is one of the names that this is one of the names they named. Dude, you got all these black prominent actors in the MCU. 20 minutes is what Michael B. Jordan has been in the MCU. 20 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, there you go with that.
And he died.
20 minutes
he
of-
died
20
from a black
20
on black dispute.
Andy died.
Yeah.
20 minutes of torturing his own kind as well. He was
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
start war with his
Yeah.
own people, basically.
Exactly.
Then you got
Next.
But
brother
I kind of
from
agree
12
with-
Years a Slave who plays Mordo. 17 minutes and 45 seconds, and you got all this black representation in the MCU. Okay, let's move to the next name they said.
That's crazy.
One of them, what's dude's name? Idris Elba. Here we go. We got Idris Elba.
I was so shocked last week.
And,
14
well, you know what's
minutes and
crazy?
15 seconds.
We don't even know where the
Yeah.
not like not to backtrack,
Like you
but
said,
we
he's
don't
an
know where the
important
fuck
character, too.
616 Mordo is.
Right,
Like we
Right.
don't know anything about him anymore, really.
right. We don't know anything. Talking about we got all this black representation in the MCU. Calm down, guys. You're still gonna get this. You're still gonna get that. These numbers don't lie, bruh. What they say? Who said that? Nikki's numbers don't lie. What she say? If numbers don't lie, when they discussing the king, they turn around and say LeBron ain't got 6 rings. So fuck that shit. Numbers don't lie. All right. Yeah. So then we got what's his name?
Or mid gets it.
You got brother from that played Battlestar.
Yeah.
Cleon Bennett. Dead. 11 minutes. Dead now. Dead.
Oh yeah, he did die.
Because we got all this black representation. See, and then
to
brother
the Flag Smashers.
And then the brother from
any other black actors.
Then the brother from Guardians of the Galaxy is not even on here.
Yeah.
You want to know why? I think because he had like what?
Nothing.
A few seconds in the intro, right. And then the few seconds that you saw him again. Okay, maybe I'm gonna say like 6 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes, because I forget he is in the closing fight.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like 6 to 7 minutes.
But even how much of it?
Well, obviously not enough because he's not on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Don Cheadle. Of course, you got Don Cheadle. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was at least expecting a little over an hour, 52 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because also the first Iron Man was played by what's his name?
Yeah, Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
That. Okay.
Yeah.
Not even get on that one.
How much does Samuel L. Jackson have?
An hour 16.
And think of how many movies he's been in.
Exactly. Since the beginning.
Yeah.
All this black representation. Calm down. You got Anthony Mackie. And you want to know why he's got that much? We already said this shit.
Yep. Sidekick.
Because he was the sidekick. Yeah. He had to be there. He told Steve, I'm going where you go. As the sidekick.
Yeah. On your left.
On your
slightly
left.
behind you on your left always. Never directly on your left, a little behind you.
So, don't want to overshine. You can't be directly on your left. I got to be just a
little behind you.
You know what? Cap was kind of an asshole for that, because wasn't he like rehabbing his knee? Like when he met Cap, and then Cap's like, I'm on superpower. He's just laughing at him. It's like, you asshole.
Yeah, he 2 hours and 15 there for Anthony Mackie, and I think that ends our
bro.
There it is. That's it.
Did Anthony Mackie? Didn't that nigga lose to like Ant-Man when he first got his suit?
Yes.
like Ant-Man was in training and kicked Anthony Mackie's ass.
Bro. Like
learning how to jump through doors and went and fucked up Anthony Mackie.
And like I said, this is because I've seen that too. Why make it so controversial? I've seen that in our comments. Listen. When we discuss this, I'm not making it controversial.
Yeah, I don't see why it is.
It's not. It's a discussion for me. I'm giving you my opinion on what I think could be done coming from the black community. This is what I think could be done. This is what I think we should have as far as representation goes. Because if you're going to go with the idea that you're really not bringing T'Challa back, don't hit me with, the post-credit scene is T'Challa. Fuck that shit. If you're hitting me with that you're not bringing T'Challa back, then you need to pull some of these black roles, these black male roles and female roles that are black from the comics onto the big screen. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason that you could give me in the comments, that you could stitch me in a video and give me that says a good reason as to why we shouldn't be having these black actors play black characters. I just don't know. There's not one you could give me. There's not when we're screaming representation, when you're literally taking that off the screen with T'Challa. So miss me.
I know we're getting. It's like, yes, we know we're getting Blade, but Blade doesn't represent much. Like, little black boy should no actual human being be looking up to. I'm just even if that white doesn't represent much in real life.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's nothing that like everyone's gonna see and then be like, culturally, black people are just like something to look up to from some sort of aspect or any sort of aspect.
Not
really.
From Blade.
Like it's just like nothing coming unless. So it's like the next thing that we are getting is Captain America 4, in which it sounds like that he really could be sidelined by hella Hulks being in there. So you never really know, and it's like it's not to say we don't want, but the representation that we want isn't in the stories or characters like Luke Cage or like Blade, or it's like we deserve like the
Exactly.
Blue Marvels and the T'Challas. Just like those are
Exactly.
the Brother Voodoos.
Right.
Just like all of the high powered
Exactly.
protectors
That's what
and
we
stuff
want.
like
Not
that.
filled with tropes.
Exactly. Yes,
Exactly.
the protectors and the art, like the full written out storyline stuff like that. I mean, I just don't see why we haven't even. Marvel's been in phase 4 or 5 now. It's like I don't see why their only main was T'Challa. Like they should have saw how T'Challa made $1 billion and been like, okay, Blue Marvel.
But see, that's
Okay,
that,
Brother
but that's-
Voodoo is going
that's
in
like
Doctor
the whole
Strange.
point
He's
of
not
what
going to be
we're
in this
even-
deleted post scene. He is going in
Right,
the next
right.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of what we're even all right here sitting saying is like, there's, like you just said, like there's no reason that they can't. I mean, but again, yet you're bringing in more characters from the, and again, and the reason I say you can bring these black characters off is because you can't tell me that the general public know, just like Black Adam. Black Adam's numbers, even for the second weekend, didn't do good in box office. Why? It's not because it's because nobody knows who the fuck Black Adam is unless
not
you're a
Batman.
hardcore. Yeah, it's not one of those DC heroes that everybody, like I said, I had people at work ask me, I thought Black Adam was black. Is he not black? Or asking me all these questions about Black Adam. No, bruh. People don't know who the fuck Black Adam is.
Right.
No matter if you slap the rock on it. That's the point I was trying to make about the whole anyway with Trey. But it doesn't, it's not doing good, so people don't know who he is. Same thing with Simon Williams.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who the fuck Wonder Man is.
Yeah, there's not going to be any. Nobody's been demanding.
Nobody knows who Wonder Man
Like,
is.
how many people on YouTube do, like, top 15 characters from the comics we'd love to see in the MCU? Have you ever seen him
Right.
in any
Right.
list?
No.
Like,
no,
there's,
bro.
like-
nobody
Yeah.
nobody even whispers Wonder Man.
It's
So-
just I pray when they finally do start bringing in X-Men and stuff. There's so many black
There
mutants
are.
to bring in, so I
Yeah.
just pray they get it right at least there. Because I mean, so far,
not happy.
not
happy.
And it's not to say like they're bad at what they're doing. It's just I feel like they haven't even really tried to attempt to represent the black community in like good ways outside of T'Challa. And then whenever Chadwick Boseman passes, just like let's
Just flush all that down the toilet.
let's honor
Right,
let's honor him, but and the representation that he stood for and everything. So I don't get that. I mean, because like they represent everyone well, like with what they do, like with Namor, him being Latino and everything. Like that is good representation and everything.
Yeah.
Like him at all his press conferences, the way he talks, like he's
Exactly.
speaking in Spanish to his
and that's
community.
dope. It really is.
Like it really is. Like,
because
I feel some type of way.
I do,
It's-
at especially his speech at SDCC or at D23. I think it was D23. I think it
Right,
was
like he
D23.
talked in English, and then after he's like, and then he starts talking in
and
Spanish.
he's
Like
tearing
now
up.
for my yes.
Like, bro, that was dope. That's representation. That's what we mean.
Or that video you repost, like where Andrew Garfield and Tom Hill, they showed up
Yeah.
in their costume. And, I mean, that's not like much of represent, but it's just like it's like imagine if we were to have those black characters doing stuff like that.
doing
it's
stuff
just
like that, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, give us the man.
It's just because of simple fact.
that's
Imagine
it.
if
That's
like,
all I'm saying. That's it.
Because, like, not a lot of black kids growing up thinking, like, oh, comic books are cool or stuff like that. It's usually other stuff like sports, doing whatever stuff they may get into and stuff like that. But it's like, imagine if just we were to put 2-3 prominent black male superheroes who represent them. It's just like, we could get kids growing up, I want to be him from the jump.
very
Like,
true.
not saying I want to be Superman or Spider-Man, but I want to be someone who's just like
who
me.
looks like me,
Right.
Who
That
grows like who
representation.
grew up in a community or a
Right.
story like me, who has the same struggles that
Right.
I may or I could relate to. It's just like
Because again, we've
I
talked
don't
about
relate
this
to
within
Spider-Man,
our
really.
No, within our
Like-
within our community, as growing up black, we all can relate because our stories are similar. Like we all come from this almost the same backgrounds. And I'm not saying like our households were exactly the same. What I'm saying is our culture. The culture is the same. The way we were brought up sometimes is the same. Like we can relate on just stuff being around in the house.
Grandmas and cousins
Certain
and-
plates, certain
yeah.
plate designs. Like, oh yeah, black folks got. I mean, there's just so many different things, but that's what the representation. That's what we want to see.
Right.
That's what we want to see. It's not Yaya playing Simon Williams, who, if I go pick up Simon Williams comics, I'm reading about a white man's story, does not give me the representation I'm talking about.
like the amount
it does
of
not.
like,
Representation's a feeling. It's understanding a culture.
Right.
It's understanding
Like the
a bunch of
yeah.
subtleties, really. It comes down to, like, to nail the big stuff, you have to nail the subtleties. Like, you have to, like, if Tarantino makes a movie, he does so much subtext work. Like, he wants his actors to know, like, that's what that's what, like, okay, like, me and Trey, we can't get that. Like, we won't ever nail some of that. Like, the amount of times my fiance will, like, tell me something, I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, that, it's a different thing.
Right.
So to just, to have someone with my background and then just all of a sudden make me black, that doesn't make me black.
Right.
It makes my skin black.
Right.
You know?
Right. And, I guess we have been depicted as poor in the MCU already. If you want to take it to Falcon and Winter Soldier, he couldn't even get a bank loan as an Avenger.
Right.
So we've been that part. They have no problem representing us in, but we
so even like you could tell like even how they represented like when in Black Panther when they came to America, show you like you could tell those kids were poor that were hooping at the park and everything playing basketball. So it's like, but it's one thing I want like the amount of like white dinners and cookouts I've seen, and like I would pay for a movie ticket to go see like a black dinner or cookout in the MCU just to go see the humor they have at like a black cookout in the MCU. So it's just like little stuff like that.
Right.
Like it's just like the subtle differences and everything. It's just like it shouldn't be about race, but it's like it's really about culture, and with culture comes like unfortunately race and everything. It's not to be divided or anything. It's just the fact that like every culture is just as important as the next.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's just like when other culture like Miss Marvel culture excellent, like we got to see that culture and everything, but like they like I said, they showcase cultures excellent and everything, but it's just when it's come to the black community and everything or black culture, it hasn't been outside of what they've decided to kill off too well. Like,
and that's all. That's it. That's all.
That's all I'm saying.
I got a sticker in my
So am I excited?
Am I excited to see Yahya? Of course, I'm excited to see Yahya for the reasons I named earlier. Am I excited to see him as Simon Williams? No. But here we are. He is going to be our Simon Williams in the MCU, and as everything else, as with everything else in the MCU, we'll trug on and wait to see what the MCU has in store. So as always, let us know down below in the comments what you guys think. Are you with Yahya Abdul Mateen being cast as Wonder Man, or are you on the other side of it, like we are saying? As far as the representation aspect, or do you have a completely different reason why you don't want Yahya Abdul Mateen cast as Wonder Man? So let us know all those thoughts that you guys have down below in the comments.